Okay, so after you're done sampling and you have actually collected your data and so on, so next thing what we're going to do is we're going to classify and summarize the data that we obtained. So the data that you have collected, that you haven't done anything, that comes out on the screen. For example, if you use Google Form in order to do it, like the Google Form is going to give you sort of like a list of the outcome. So whatever data that comes from that, it is called as a raw data. You haven't cleaned it, you haven't done anything, so it's called as a raw data. So the first thing that you can do is you're going to use data array. Data array means what you're going to do is you are going to arrange your data. Either it's going to be ascending or descending order, whether you're going to start with smallest to largest value or largest to smallest and so on. So just so that we have sort of like an idea. So what is going to be the minimum and the maximum value, okay? So how can you classify data? So data can be classified by its types or also by level of measurement later. We're going to have a look how do we classify through type and also level of measurement. And after that, you're going to summarize your data. So it could be in terms of graphical or descriptive statistics. So graphical, you know that. It could be in terms of a chart, a pie chart, a table, a histogram, a bar chart, and so on. Okay, because like people don't want to see raw data. They don't want to see all the tables and such. They just want to see like whatever that gives realization of the idea. For example, if I were to present the result of the final exam, like people don't want to see like this list number and this is whatever that he got, the overall marks and so on. No, they want to see the overall, like how many people got an A. So the easiest way is to do a bar chart for this. Like, oh, the A and the E is actually pretty much the same amount. You know, they want to compare things like that. So that is why even when you work, graphical statistics is going to be the most important and is going to be the most well liked by the higher ups, because they just want to be able to see the figure and tell right away that what they could conclude from it. Okay, this is going to be an example of raw data. This is what I was talking just now. People don't want to see all this. They don't want to go through all this. Imagine if you have like 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 data. So that is what happened in real life. So who want to see all this? Okay, so data can be classified by being quantitative or qualitative. Remember in your assignment, so you are supposed to find quantitative variable. So this is what we want. So now we're going to have a look what is different about quantitative and qualitative. And then you can also classify them according to their level of measurements. Okay, so the first is how do we actually classify them by being qualitative or quantitative? So this is actually the same thing, only different names. So qualitative is also known as categorical or attribute variable. So it's the same thing. And quantitative is also known as numerical variable. So quantitative is something that when it involves numbers, so it's going to fall into being quantitative variable. That's why it's a numeric variable. Qualitative if it's categorical variable, meaning that so when I answer the question, so it's going to be in terms of one category or the other, so that is called as qualitative. But when it involves numbers, that is going to be quantitative, quantity. Okay, so for qualitative data, it can be just divided into two groups. So it could be nominal data and could also be ordinal data. So what is the difference between them? So nominal data is a qualitative value that cannot be ranked. Cannot be ranked. There is no point of ranking them. For example, gender. So we don't really rank gender, like male first, female first. No, this doesn't exist. Or we don't really rank race. Like this race is number 1, this race is number 2. No, we don't do such a thing. Color and so on. So anything that there is no point of ranking, that is called as being nominal data. And ordinal data is something that that can actually be ranked. Okay, for example, price. So first place, second place, third place, and so on in a competition. So that is called as ordinal data. Filling or color from dark to bright. For example, if I do a survey and I have some like this, so the scale is going to be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So people like that. For example, I bought a chat time drink and people know how much do you like the drink. So this start from don't like, until like, right? So meaning that if I put 1, I don't really like the drink. If I put 3, I was like, I was fine with it. I might purchase it. Or if I put 5, I was like this is so good, I'm going to buy it again. So that is called as the Likert scale, this like scale. Okay, so it is something that we can be ranked. So that is called as being the ordinal data, something that we can rank. Okay, quantitative, so it involves numbers. It's data that can be counted or measures. It can be ordered or ranked, so we can rank it according to the lowest to the highest and so on. Alright, so discrete data is the values that can be counted and finite. So what is discrete data? So discrete data is going to be number like counting numbers. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like number of people and so on. So that is called as discrete data. Number of people, number of cars, it cannot be in terms of fraction, it cannot be in terms of decimal. But continuous can be fraction, okay, so can be in terms of decimal. Okay, I cannot say there are like 3.5 people right here. So what happens to the 0.5? Okay, so when it comes to people, the numbers, counting numbers, is going to be discrete data. But if the data actually involve fraction and decimal places, so it's going to be categorized by being continuous data. For example, weight, because it could be someone could be like 62.3 in involved decimal place. Age, like someone could be like age, we don't really, like kids, we usually say that, oh, he is like 1.5 years old, like one year and 6 months. But yeah, as adult, we don't really categorize us as being, oh, I am 32.5. No, we don't really do that as adult. But for kids here, it applies. Or salary, or the person's salary is like 1,250.40 cents and so on. Or temperatures, like we take temperatures a lot these days, 36.2, 36.5. So that is a decimal place right there. So it's called as being continuous data. So in your assignment, so what is going to be the best kind of data to collect? So it has to be quantitative. This is compulsory. But between discrete and continuous, like if you sketch a graph or do something to your data, it would look best if you have a continuous data, because it might not look really good when you draw a box plot for discrete data, but it's going to look very good when you have a continuous data. So I would really recommend for you to choose continuous data instead of a discrete data. Okay, so that is one way of classifying. So we can classify whether they are qualitative or quantitative. Okay, and then we can also classify them according to the level of measurement, we call it. Okay, so it's going to be pretty much the same idea as previously. So for level of measurement, there are 4 levels altogether. So we have nominal, ordinal, interval level, and ratio level. So as what we have seen previously on top, nominal and ordinal, it falls over here. So this is involves qualitative data. Okay, so it involves data that don't really involve numbers but category. For example, zip code, postcode, gender, eye color. So those are basically something that we are not going to order or rank. No order or ranking can be input on the data. And the same idea for what we have seen previously. So ordinal level is something that can be ranked. For example, grade. So whether you get an A, B, C, D, or D, first place, second place, third place, and so on. So that is called as the ordinal level. So it's going to be the same as what we have seen before. If the question asks you like to categorize whether it's going to be qualitative or quantitative, so this is how it goes. But if the question asks you what is going to be the level of measurement, so it's going to be either this 4. Okay, so interval level and ratio level. So we use this for the case that we have quantitative data. So when the data involve numeric, involve numbers, so it's either going to be interval or it's going to be ratio level. So what is an interval level? So interval level, the most significant way to differentiate between these two is that there is no meaningful zero. No meaningful zero means that, let me put right over here, 0 does not mean none. Okay, so just because I said something is 0 doesn't mean that it doesn't exist or it's nothing. Okay, for example, IQ. if I say that a person sit for an IQ test and the person got a 0, so it doesn't really mean that the person has nothing in his brain. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so the fact that he can actually walk, talk, and do something means that there should be something up there. Okay, so getting an IQ test 0 doesn't mean that you're dumb or something. Okay, or temperature. When I say the temperature is 0, doesn't mean the temperature is not there. Yes, the temperature is there, but it's just a 0 value. That's it. Okay, so 0 does not mean none. Or shoe size, of course, like could be 0 for babies. Okay, so when 0 does not mean nothing, so it's going to be called as being interval level. So ratio level is going to be the opposite, when there exists a true 0. That when I say it's 0 means that it's none. For example, if I say that my salary is 0, means that I don't make any money, that probably I don't work. Or the time is 0, so the time hasn't started yet. Or the weight is 0, means that nothing is there. Okay, and so on. Okay, so that is the difference between interval and also ratio level. Interval, no meaning full 0. Ratio level, there exists a true 0. Again, so try to do this. So what the question asks you to do is, for each of the question, you identify each of the type of data requested as either attribute or numeric. Remember, so attribute is just another name for qualitative. Numeric is just another name for quantitative. It's actually the same thing. And when attribute data, when the data is qualitative, you have to tell whether it's nominal or ordinal. And if it's numeric, so you have to tell whether it's discrete or continuous. And then we're going to identify the level of measurement for each variable. I'll show you 2 examples and then you proceed on your own. Okay, weight. So what is going to be weight? Is it going to be attribute or numeric? So weight is going to be a numeric data. Okay, so is it discrete or continuous? So weight can have decimal places. So basically it's going to be continuous. So what is going to be the level of measurement? So the level of measurement, is it going to be interval or ratio? So if weight is 0, so it means that there's none of it. So there's nothing. If I have a scale and weight is 0, means that nothing is on it. So it's going to be classified as being the ratio level. Okay, because 0 means none. Okay, so that's for A. For B, in what city was it commit? So the variable is going to be city. And we know that city doesn't involve numbers. It's going to be attribute variable or qualitative variable. Is it nominal or ordinal? Do we order cities? No, we don't do that. So it's going to be nominal. Okay. And what is going to be the level of measurement? So it's going to be the same. Remember, level of measurement is going to be the same for classifying qualitative or quantitative or level of measurement. So therefore, it's still going to be a nominal level of measurement. Okay, so proceed with the rest, and we'll discuss it when we have online session later.